Today, Governor Walker will continue what he calls his Business Forward tour.
But before he does that, he is at a special event at the Waukesha County Courthouse. And Governor Walker joins us live now this morning to talk more about all sorts of topics. Governor, good morning. Thanks so much for joining us.
Good to be with you. Not much of my voice left, so sorry about that, but I'm out running today, and I'm not running for office.
I know. It's been a long time since we've been able to say that. Well, I am curious. You're at the Special Olympics Torch Run. It's an event that you have participated in a couple of times. A good way to kind of move beyond the recall election, I would imagine.
Yeah, this is about the 10th year I've been out running. A good friend of mine, Dan Brower, puts this together, and it's a lot of fun. The Special Olympics are just incredibly special to see a lot of the athletes here and a lot of the troopers, the sheriff's deputies, the police officers every year that help out with it. I'm always enjoy coming out here to run. I even brought my son, which is pretty good. My senior got up early to run with me.
Oh, that's wonderful to hear. Now, Governor, it's been a couple days, of course, since your big win. Are you still feeling a lot of excitement? Have you been able to come down, and has it all been able to settle in for you?
Well, it's just, I really got right back to work yesterday. I was at a manufacturing plant. I was with the cabinet. I made some calls to business owners around the state, small business owners, to try and encourage them now to say, now that things have settled, let's move forward. So we're excited, but we're going to keep focused on moving the state forward, focus on helping small businesses grow in the state, put more people to work.
In light of the recall election results, there were some threats made against you, and I know you had said yesterday in interviews that you had had those before, but I would imagine it's very disconcerting, especially for your family. Is there heightened security around you or your family because of these new threats?
Well, I mean, my security detail always takes things seriously. They look at these, but I don't allow it to change my public schedule. And what better place today to be than running with a bunch of law enforcement officials? You can't get much safer than that. Salt of the earth people. So we're not going to change things. We're just going to stay focused.
And Governor, from the looks of it right now, there has been a Senate power shift due to the race in Racine with Van Wangard and John Lehman. What does that mean for you going back to the Capitol?
Well, I talked to State Senator Mark Miller yesterday, the Senate Democrat leader. I talked to Representative Peter Park in the State Assembly, Democrat leader. I talked to other leaders like Dr. Tony Evers, the head of public instruction. And really, for us, the issues we hone in on are issues they share. It's talking about how do we get the connection between jobs that are available today in manufacturing and the skill set that people need for those jobs. How do we help small businesses grow in the state? They're committed to working on those issues. I'm committed to working those issues. And next week, when we sit down with a bunch of other lawmakers to have some brats and some burgers and hopefully a couple beers, I think that's the start of a good relationship.
Curious, Governor, have you talked to Van Wangard, and would you recommend that he ask for a recount because the balance of power is at stake in the state Senate with that position?
Well, I mean, I think in the end, what they should look at is how realistic it is. In the end, I haven't looked at all the details. I literally got up and went right over to work, and so I haven't looked at the details of what the count is. But if it's a close count, I think most candidates would want to have a recount. If it's not, I think most people would want to move on. But I'll leave that up to the candidates to decide.
Would you think 800 votes or so? Is that a close count in your opinion?
Well, again, it depends on how much they think the actual count is. But in a district, if it was 800 votes statewide, obviously a Senate district's a little bit different. But again, I haven't looked at all the particulars, so I'll leave that up to the candidates. The best thing, though, is I think lawmakers in both parties, no matter what happens in Racine County, are ready to move on, and that's why the first step of many steps is going to be getting together next week.
Governor, real quickly, you mentioned the brats and burgers and coming together. Obviously, Wisconsin is still a divided state after this recall election. Do you really think burgers and brats and coming together is going to help? And do you truly think that we will be able to come together as one?
Yeah, I do. I think it won't happen overnight. My wife was the one, Tonette, suggested having people over for the burgers and brats. I think it's a good start. I think there's a lot of lawmakers, particularly those who've been around for a while, who miss the collegiality. I was in the Assembly years ago. A lot of my great friends weren't just Republicans, they were Democrats. I always taught new members, don't ever personalize your differences. Your opponent today may be your ally tomorrow, and it'd be nice if we could get back to that. Doesn't mean we have to compromise our principles, doesn't mean we don't have strong beliefs, but it should be a way that we can get along, and on the issues where there is common ground, we should be able to work with each other. And my hope is this effort next week is just the start of many efforts down the road.
Do you have a date yet for the Burgers and Brats Summit, Governor?
No, we talked a little bit. We're trying to move a couple other events around so we can accommodate as many people as possible, but it should be sometime in the next week.
Okay, thanks very much, and safe travels. Have fun today.
You. Thank you. Have a good one.
Thank you. And